A tier list video in 2025? Yes.
Okay. So everyone always makes a tier list in games with characters about how strong one character is compared to the others. But this is Spirit Island. You can pretty much win with every spirit, and our goal is to have fun. We're here to play the game, and if you're good enough, you're gonna win. So we're making a tier list on who is the most enjoyable characters to play, starting with the base game. G, take it away.
Yeah. So we just have our own tier lists that we made before this video. We all have our own opinions. And my opinion, starting off with River, is that he belongs in A tier. Now, I'm just going to give my reasoning for each one. Hopefully the discussion doesn't get too heated. But basically, I like that River is very versatile. You can push a lot of explorers in towns, which kind of makes it so you can just kind of ignore builds, which is fun. Like, I like not having to worry about builds. I like pushing away my problems. And not only that, I also like giving my allies a bunch of energy. I think he has the best art in the base game.
Oh, that's a valid take. That last one I'll agree with you on. Oh, wait, I'm looking at them. One of the best. One of the best. I'm not gonna say the best. But I don't know. I feel like giving other people energy is like the least fun about him. Like, it's such an afterthought for me. I'm just playing for elements. I also put Rivers at the bottom of A tier. I did rank them. Yes, they're bottom of A tier. And that's just because, although he's a very good learning spirit, I feel like the way you're supposed to play him is kind of linear. But it's fun to play a lot of cards. For one of the starting spirits, without any aspects, I think a new player is going to have a lot of fun with them. An experienced player is going to be happy to pilot it. I think other base spirits are going to be more interesting to pilot for a more experienced player. But River does a good job as the first introduction.
I take issue with you saying that he's linear. Viewers, I'm just going to say it. I really like the non-linear spirits. I would not have put River in A tier if he was linear. The way that you can push stuff around, there's all sorts of neat little combos you can do with that. There's no one correct answer with River. That's what I love about him.
I mean, I'm thinking of build order. Like, in terms of build versatility, I feel like if you're not going bottom track, you're just griefing. Like, it feels really, really bad to go top track on River. And that's what I dislike. Like, you're always going bottom. You're going to do a lot of reclaiming. You're going to do a lot of playing for your innate power. I just wish he was more viable, played with major powers, and less reliant on his innate. I will give you that the pushing does have some variety, though. Like, but everyone can push, bro. Like, I'm not worried about pushing on most spirits.
But he pushes better than everyone else. Also, I just want to point out, Ethan said that we're rating them on funness, but he's talking about viability. I think he deserves A tier. Let's move on to the next one.
All right, who do we have next? Lightning. Oh, you might hate me for this. I put him in C tier. I put him at the top of C tier.
You put him in C tier.
My reasoning is that he teeters this really awkward line of looking like an early game spirit with early game cards, but you don't get your innate power until you have 3 card plays, and then once you have 3 card plays, you just have to reclaim for the rest of the game. Like, it feels really bad when you get to that point. That or you just never get your innate off, and I feel like it's bait for lower level players, and it feels really bad to not hit your elements on the spirit compared to the others. If I had to go out of my way to pick any spirit, most of the time it's not going to be lightning.
I will agree with you on the reclaim loop that sometimes you just find yourself in. I actually placed him in B tier because even though he feels linear to play, he fulfills that fantasy of being the god of thunder that smites down the invaders and just leaves nothing but rubble. That coolness factor is what made me put him in B tier, because I'm just like, yeah, no, this spirit is always good.
He definitely makes the table feel different, but I feel like it only feels good when you're not the one piloting him. like it's like, yay, I get lightning's boon. But when you're actually giving out the lightning boon, it's like, guys, I'm really poor. Does anyone make use of lightning's boon, please? Please. I don't want to waste this card. It can feel really awful.
Lightning, I agree he is a noob trap. He is a noob trap. A lot of new players play him, and they make every slow power fast. The spirit leads you to believe that fast is good. But something that you figure out the more you play other spirits, slow is good sometimes. But by the time you figure that out, it's like, oh, now that I know how to play around the game slowly, what do I need lightning for?
I think the big thing, though, is lightning feels very viable at lower difficulty. Like, I feel like I have no struggle with him. But once I get to higher, I start feeling really bad because I'm at that struggle of, I want to play these cool big cards, but then I play one card for the turn and I'm screwed. I'm pretty solid on the C tier placement. If anyone has to go C tier, I think lightning is one of them.
You know what? You've convinced me, because I just got flashbacks to the reclaim loop I have to do because I don't have enough card plays or I don't have enough energy. I'm gonna put him in C tier.
It's like it should be good. It's like it's so good in theory, and then in practice it feels so bad. I want it to be better, and I think some of the aspects get there, but we are, to clarify, only talking about the base spirit. We are not tackling aspects in this video.
Next spirit we got is Shadows Flicker Like Flame. If you guys have been watching this channel for a long time, you already know where I'm putting him. I'm putting him in S tier.
Oh my god.
S is for Shadows, baby. I know he's bad. I know he's the most hated spirit in the community, but I love him. He's my day one. There's something so funny about him. Just, he's portrayed as this shadowy alien figure, but I just imagine a little gremlin that just picks things up and moves them around. It's like those guys in Dark Souls. The developers tried to make them scary, but they just look stupid. And it's so funny to me every time I play Shadow, because he just kind of tickles the invaders until he just does something massive. One of my favorite things to do with Shadows is to gather a bunch of Dahan into a land and generate fear, and then the invaders are like, oh, I'm gonna kill all your Dahan now, and I say, nuh-uh, and now all the Dahan are invulnerable. Sure, the land gets blighted, but that's okay. I wasn't in that land anyway. I paid the 1 energy to not be in that land. And the Dahan get to fight back. It's so cool. He's just a little funny guy. I love him.
I also put him in S here. I love this guy. I like playing him with aspects more, but because we're not talking about that and we're just talking about base spirit, same deal. Love him still. I agree that he is probably the most corny spirit. Like, he doesn't come off as badass as he's supposed to. Even in gameplay, he feels like that. But I do like that, like you said, the Dahan in the Fear Gen actually works pretty thematically because he's the shadow of somebody. So that much works. But I don't know. I whenever I think of a base spirit to play, he's kind of the first thing I go to, bro. I'm not gonna lie. I always find an excuse to play this guy. So I'm down to keep him S tier.
I'm glad we agree.
Alright. Vital Strength of the Earth. I just played him in a casual game we played off recording, and I'm gonna have to say, base, he's going into B tier, man.
B tier.
This guy, yeah, he's going to B tier. Greater than games, what are you guys doing? Making a card that is meant to be forgotten, not because it helps you when you forget it, but because it's so bad. I forgot what it's called. I think it's Rituals of Destruction.
Yes.
Right? Yes,
I hoped we were talking about the same card, because Rituals of Destruction, 3 energy for 2 damage?
For 2 damage on slow. My god. Like, don't get me wrong. The first time you play it is probably fine, because you get it with your Dahan gathering or whatever. It's cool. You get it one time, bro. You get the one time and that's it.
The only justification for this card costing that much is the amount of elements it gives. But there are minor powers that give almost as many elements and cost 1 energy. I tried to crack Vital. I looked up a guide. I did it. I looked up a guide on how to play Vital Strength of the Earth. And the first thing they said was, turn 1, forget Rituals of Destruction, get a major power.
There's no alternative.
That's the only time I've beaten a game with Vital Strength of the Earth on higher than difficulty 3.
It's just so impractical, man.
And can we just talk about how useless his innate is? Like,
Oh, okay. Slowly roll there. That's actually why he's in B tier. I think his innate in like lower level play, in base game play, actually feels pretty good. Like you just get a free defense. And
Whoa. That's his special rule. I'm talking about his innate power.
Oh, okay. His innate power is not thematic, in my opinion, but I think it's very nice to have in the game. That's my take on it. Like it's like giving an extra card play to one of your allies. It's not bad.
The only redeeming qualities I see in Vital Strength of the Earth is his special rule, his Guard the Healing Land, and Peace of the Untouched Land. That's it. Really cool powers, but they cost 3 energy. This spirit is the definition of a spirit who suffers from power creep, because every other spirit can just do what he does, but better or in a cooler way. And for that reason, that's why in my list I put him in D tier.
D tier.
Yes.
You hate this guy.
I hate this guy.
Oh my god.
He was cool. He was like the defensive spirit when you were like learning the game and like only playing low complexity spirits. And then you saw Spread of Rampant Green and we're like, oh, that's cooler.
I say we compromise and just put it in C tier. Since I put it B, you put it D. I think that's fair. And we can just move on from there.
I'll put it in C tier just because I really like those specific powers he has. You want to skip ahead to the spread since I brought him up?
Yeah, sure. Let's skip ahead to spread. You're not gonna like this one, man. You just talked about how cool spread was. I put him in B tier, man.
You put him in B tier?
I put him in B tier.
That's funny because I put him in D tier.
Okay, let me go first though. The reason
okay,
I put him in D tier, honestly, he feels like an A S tier spirit, but I'm cursed with the knowledge that he's one of the best spirits, and I don't know about you guys, but I have a thing where I don't like playing the objectively strongest guy. But don't get me wrong, I've put my games into him. He does feel like a well-oiled machine, and in other games I'm willing to be the pilot of those characters. But in this game, I'm playing to have fun, man. I'm playing to try to look for cool things to happen, trying to fish for certain combos. With Spread Rampant Greed, I feel like I'm just like making the invaders play less, sacking presence, doing it again. I get it's a niche as a spirit, so that's why I put him in B tier. I think there's a little flexibility on like helping buff your allies because he's one of the best at doing that, but it can feel a little linear. Once you get good at the spirit, it feels a little linear. Like the play's always obvious, and I don't like that.
I agree with your reasoning of putting, knowing that spirits are good makes you not want to play them, but even when I do play him, he's boring. Like, there's nothing exciting about him. Like, the reason I put him in D tier is because every time I play him, it just feels like I'm just everywhere on the map, but I can't do anything.
See,
in fact, you know what? You know what? We were talking about these problems that these base spirits have with scaling, and part of it could just be because they were keeping Spread of Rampant Green in mind. They had to give him a reason to be able to, actually play in a game of Spirit Island. Because he's so boring, but he lets other people have fun. But you're not having fun.
Gee, I think this is where you and I differ in terms of playstyle. Like, this is a playstyle specific disagreement. I think buffing your allies is kind of nice. I do not mind buffing my ally. I think in terms of design, Spread of Rampant Greed, pretty cool. Like, you were a guy that makes it easier for everyone else to play. You do a lot of prevention, and honestly, your damage will pick up. I don't like that he can't play for majors very easily. I think majors are extremely hard to work with him, just because his energy regen is pretty weak. I wish that variety was a little easier to access, but I mean, compared to some of the other spirits, he does something pretty unique. And even though you don't like supporting, usually.
Okay, stop right there.
Yeah, and that's why
I was trying to wait for you to finish, but no, I like supporting Ethan. I like to buff my allies. Just the way that he does it is just boring. He gives you a presence. Depending on who you're playing, that could just be a presence to make up a turn or give you something you were already going to get anyway. I like the flavorful buffs. I like Tidal Boon. I like Boon of Vigor. Hell, I like Mantle of Dread. Because those are cool buffs. Those are buffs where it's like, oh, I'm actually playing around your decisions. But this one is just here, have a free decision. It's like
I see.
it's not flavorful.
You know what? I'm down to keep him in D tier. I'm down. This is a fun tier list. We're putting him there.
Dude, our viewers are probably seething. Spread is in D tier and Shadows is in S tier.
this is a very cursed tier list. Okay. G. Thunderspeaker.
Yep. Thunderspeaker. My homegirl. I put her in S tier. Actually, I put her at top of S tier. She is my favorite spirit in the game before Nature Incarnate came out. I'm a huge StarCraft fan. I love RTS. I'm an RTS developer. And Thunderspeaker is the spirit where I can live out my fantasy of just moving my army around the island and killing everything I see. I love the way you can move around Dahan. I love the ride or die mechanic where you need to keep your Dahan alive. If the Dahan dies, you die too. It's so hardcore. And the amount of plays you can do with her, so much fun. I love that you can just do 16 damage in a land on turn 3. Like, that's awesome.
Alright, if the viewers are gonna hate us for how we put Spread Rampant Green and Darkness down, you're gonna hate me for where I put Miss Dahan Lady. She went at the very bottom for me. I put her in C tier. And I didn't mark anyone below that. Before you get the pitchfork out.
It's already out.
Man, hold it at bay. My reasoning was that this is a subjective tier list. This is how much I had fun playing them. And honestly, as much as I appreciate war games and I will play them every now and then, not my thing. Like, I don't gain anything from playing a spirit that is a war game spirit. Whenever I load up Spirit Island, I'm like, oh, who do I want to play today? I have never thought that I want to move Dahan around, bro. I don't want to be a war machine Dahan mover. I think there are going to be people who like it, so I'm a little more flexible. But for the record, I did put this at my bottom. He is seething. You can hear it. Oh my god.
What I hate is that your opinion is valid. Like, I think Thunderspeaker should be a high complexity spirit and Ocean's Hungry Grasp should be a moderate. That's my hot take of the video.
I will say, I think the skill cap on Thunderspeaker is higher. I think the skill floor is lower. And Ocean is the first time they introduce the ideas that Ocean provides. I understand why he is considered a high complexity spirit. Like, explaining Ocean to a new player kind of breaks their brain for a couple minutes. So,
you know what?
I see where they were going, but I agree with what you're trying to say.
Let's go to Ocean. Where did you put Ocean?
Okay, before we continue, can we at least put Darkness at the top of S tier? I'm gonna put my vote because I started Thunderspeaker C tier. At least put her below Darkness.
You know what? I'll put her in A tier for you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, but yeah, Ocean top of A tier for me. Here's the reasoning. I think that Ocean, one of the few spirits to have elements on their track, kind of teaches you how to play the more unique spirits. I think that after you play Ocean, you're kind of like, oh, I kind of want to try this again. I messed this up, I want to try it again. And then even after you feel like you got a really good grasp on the character, you're willing to come back again and ride those waves. That's pretty much it. Cool character, cool concepts. Every now and then, I like to play it.
So the reason I put Ocean in C tier is honestly the same reason why I put Spread in D tier. I just feel like he's too easy. You said earlier that it's hard to explain to a new person how Ocean works. I disagree. Every time I play with a new player, I play Ocean. And I tell the player who's usually playing River, just push that town into me. Push that town into the ocean, and I'll take care of it. And they're like, whoa. And I'm just realizing that Ocean's actually really cool for that. I'm gonna move him up to B tier.
I'm okay with it. I will say, the one thing that you're forgetting here is, yes, the player's gonna be like, wow, this was my first game. You can do that? You can push it into the ocean? And then on your second game, they're gonna try to do the same thing without an ocean, and they're just gonna be like, wait, you can't do that? Why could I do that before?
No, see, that's the hard-hitting reality. That was the tutorial. Now you're playing the real game.
In my opinion, I think the tutorial should not include Ocean most of the time. I've introduced a lot of players, and I've found that them starting with the base assumption that you could do that is kind of harder to break in the future. I like to kind of add that, just kind of like how Mario will add a power-up halfway through their world, that introduces the idea that you can now do it. That's my game philosophy, my personal bias on that. But I think we're in agreement. He has a lot of cool things going for him. I'm cool with B tier.
Yeah, he has a lot of cool things going for him. He has a lot of other downsides going for him. Like, the main reason why he's high complexity is just because he's different, not because he's harder.
Agreed. The last man of the hour.
Last but certainly not least, bringer of dreams and nightmares. I put him in A tier.
A tier? All right, let's hear it.
There is no other spirit that I consistently get fear victories with. And I love that this guy is still the king of fear victories. You can have such a hard time playing him if you're not used to his innate rule where you can't destroy things or you can't damage things. But when you learn to play around it, the eureka moments that you have where like, okay, I generated 27 fear with this one card. God, I love that. I love that almost as much as I love doing those really big damage numbers in lands with Thunderspeaker or Dahan. But it's just a really cool spirit thematically, and I just remember the first time I ever played Spirit Island, I saw that spirit, like many of you probably, and was like, oh, when I get good at this game, I'm gonna play that spirit. I'm gonna scare those invaders. The only reason why I didn't put him in S tier is because I think his starting cards are kind of whatever. Like, except for the one that lets you swap it out for a major power, I don't like his starting cards. They're kind of
okay.
meh.
I'm pissed. Okay, hear me out. I put him in S tier. Here's my reasoning. I agree with all the good things you said about him. I think the fantasy is really cool. He's edgy done right, in my opinion. And I think the coolest thing is that he's edgy and he doesn't kill anything. That's the most unique part. The unique part is he is so badass, he does not care. And he will just scare you to death. And I will say, the way you take cards, this is my favorite part about him. When you take cards and you see remove, you get a brain blast moment. You're like, oh my god, I finally have a way to do this thing that I want to do. And it's not always going to be the right choice, mind you, but the feeling of being able to remove things on this spirit compared to every single other spirit is completely unique.
Let me ask you something. What power cards in the base game had remove in them? Literally none of them. The only cards that had remove were fear cards.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I was thinking of these characters in the context of all games.
Oh, I was
expansions as well.
Interesting. I thought it was important to look at it from the past perspective because, like, these spirits were designed around major powers costing consistently, like, 6+ energy. Whereas nowadays it's, like, fair. 3 energy for a major.
Yeah, like 4 roughly, I would say. I will say, even in the base game, though, although the remove thing isn't an issue, I think he's a really well-designed spirit. I like that he's built to get major powers. I like that you have the option of going top and bottom track, and they're both viable in their own scenarios. And I also like that although one of his powers is literally just generate fear, he also has a power card that synergizes with it that says you get defense equal to how much fear you generate. And you have something built into your character to make that work. There's also the complexity of adding the knowledge of what fear card you're getting, and I have found it's completely unnecessary. Like, that is something that you add as a for fun knowledge thing, but it's almost never necessary to win most games in base game, which I think is just there to fulfill the fantasy of someone who really wants to be that badass, calculated, scary spirit.
I agree with you. That innate power is in fact useless, and I wish it wasn't. I wish it did something. I wish it mattered.
It gives an element. It's one of the very, very few things that gives an ally an element in base game. It's just the other effect is a bonus. So A or S tier? I really want him to be an S tier. I'm feeling very strongly S tier on this guy.
I felt very strongly about Thunderspeaker and S tier as well.
Okay, but this guy's name is an acronym.
Okay.
Name one other spirit whose name is an acronym.
Vos?
No, I don't even know who that is. You're just making it up.
I didn't even get the acronym right. I was saying vital strength to the earth.
That's awful.
Okay. I'll compromise. I'll put River at the bottom of A tier. Which puts him not at the bottom of A tier.
I can live with that. I might have trouble sleeping at night tonight, but we'll make it work. Alright guys, this was the tier list of all the base game spirits ranked by how much we enjoy them. I think that all of them definitely fill flavor fantasies. I think all of them have their own merit, and if you main a certain one and really enjoy playing them, they might not be the same reasons as for us, but at least I personally respect it. I believe G feels the same way. I will say, if anything, please give our S tier character some more love. He deserves it. He's a good guy. I hear that he saved a patient's life the other day.
Wow.
Yeah. He's like that. I think he donated a kidney too.
What a man. Wait.
Anyway,
it probably wasn't his.
Yo, we don't have to go in the particulars on this, man. Just he did a good thing, okay?
Okay.
Anyway,
the next tier list that we'll be doing is going to be with all the mini expansions, so Branch and Claw, Feather and Flame, and Horizons. Look forward to seeing you there.
Have a good one.